welcome back to the deep dive. Okay, so generative AI, it's gone from this kind of sci-fi idea to tools we hear about constantly, things like ChatGPT, Midjourney, Suno. They seem to just, pull content out of nowhere. If you're following tech at all, these names are just unavoidable. But what's really going on here? What does it mean for us? So today we're going to try and unpack that. We're not just defining it. We want to explore what might be, well, the most impactful tech right now. We'll look at how it works, basically check out some of the really cool applications. And also, this is important to talk about the challenges so you can figure out how to actually use it smartly.
Yeah, and it's really more than just another tech buzzword, isn't it? It feels like a genuine shift in, well, how we create things, how we innovate, how we even find information. Understanding this stuff now, it's almost like getting your head around the internet back in the early days. It feels that fundamental to the changes we're already seeing. It really is transformative, and hopefully we can make it a bit clearer today.
Okay, let's do that. Let's unpack it. So generative AI, at its most basic level, what is it? You said it creates things.
Yeah.
Brand new, original content.
Okay.
So it's not just sorting stuff or predicting what's next based on the past.
Exactly. That's the key difference. It's not just about classifying or forecasting based on existing data. It's about actual creation.
Right. So like the examples you hear, ask it for a job application letter, it writes one. Or tell it, draw a cat in a spacesuit, and suddenly there's a picture.
Precisely. It's instructing something novel. It isn't just pulling an existing answer off a shelf.
Okay, so that ability to create.
Yeah.
How is that fundamentally different from the AI we've kind of known for years? What sets it apart from, traditional AI?
Yeah, that's really the core of it. Traditional AI, think of it mostly doing classification and prediction. It's like a really, really good sorter or a forecaster. Your email uses it to flag spam. A bank might use it for credit risk. Its whole thing is finding patterns in data that already exists and then making calls based on those patterns. It's very analytical, very reactive. But generative AI, it takes this big leap. It learns from these absolutely massive data sets, text, images, audio, whatever. And it doesn't just learn to classify. It learns the underlying patterns, the styles, the structures. It learns them so deeply. It can then sort of mix and match, extend them, recombine them to make completely new stuff, stuff that wasn't explicitly in the training data.
Wow.
So it's more proactive, maybe even imaginative in a sense. It's less about automation, more like a creative partner almost.
Yeah, creative partner that really captures it. It does feel a bit like magic sometimes, seeing what comes out. So which applications are really making waves right now? Where are we seeing this most?
Well, there are probably three main types that everyone's talking about, and they are actively changing how a lot of us work or create things.
Okay, let's start with the big one, ChatGPT. That represents large language models, right? LLMs. The basic idea is kind of mind-bending, isn't it? It learns from just billions and billions of words.
Massive text corpora.
And then it figures out what word is most likely to come next. Is that it?
It's the simplified version, yeah. It's like super autocomplete, but it's learned so much about language structure, context, nuance, different writing styles, that it can string those next words together into coherent paragraphs, ideas, even entire narratives. It's not just predicting, it's composing.
Which means it can do way more than just finish your sentence. You ask it tough questions, it gives detailed answers. Tell it to write a poem like Shakespeare, it gives it a shot. Translate this, summarize that, organize these notes.
Exactly. The fluency is often quite surprising.
So where are people actually using this day to day?
Oh, all over the place. It's huge as a learning tool. For starters, getting summaries of complex topics, explaining concepts, even drafting study notes. Copywriting is another massive one. Marketing emails, social media blurbs, blog post drafts.
Saves a lot of time, I bet.
Definitely. And we're seeing developers use it too, maybe for initial project outlines or generating small bits of code to get started faster. It speeds up that early ideation phase.
Okay, so that's text. Then we've got the image side, like Midjourney or DLLO. These are the ones that turn your words into pictures. What's the most impressive thing about these from your perspective?
I think it's the creative jump they make. It's not just finding a stock photo. You can type in something really specific, even weird.
Like the cat in the spacesuit example.
Yeah, or like a blue robot bear sitting on the moon looking at Earth, painted like Van Gogh.
Right.
And bang. In seconds, you often get like 4 different takes on it, different styles, different compositions, all from that one prompt. It's generating a unique visual.
That's pretty wild. So how is that changing things for, say, creators or businesses?
Yeah, it's becoming a serious tool for designers, artists, marketers. It's a source of inspiration, first off, helps break creative blocks, but it's also a huge time saver, generating initial concepts, trying out variations quickly.
I can see that.
And the applications are broad: illustrations for articles, unique advertising images instead of generic stock photos. Some people are even using it for product mock-ups, stuff that used to mean expensive photo shoots. It just lowers the barrier to getting high-quality visuals.
Okay, text, images, what's next? Music.
Yeah, that's the newer frontier, but it's coming fast. Tools like Suno are leading the way here.
Right, I've heard of Suno. The idea that you type in a description and get music, that's amazing. As someone who definitely can't compose music, that sounds incredible.
It is pretty straightforward. You might type in a warm acoustic guitar, good for a podcast intro, maybe 60 seconds long.
And it just makes it.
Yeah, it generates the music, often gives you a couple of versions, slightly different feels or rhythms.
Wow. How does that even work? That seems complex.
It is complex under the hood, learning patterns in music like LLMs learn patterns in text. But the user experience is simple, and the practical uses are immediate. Podcast background tracks, like you said, little soundtracks for short videos, sound effects for ads. Think about it. Before, if you needed custom music, you'd probably have to hire someone, right? Arrangement, recording. It takes time and money.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Now you can get a first draft or maybe even a usable track with basically one click. It really opens up music creation to almost anyone.
Okay, so when you put all these together, the text, the images, the music, it feels like more than just a collection of cool tools. It feels like something bigger is shifting. What's the grand narrative here? What does it all mean for the future beyond just, the usual, will robots take our jobs?
Yeah.
Cherry, what's...
Right. I think the deepest change is this democratization of complex creative work. Historically, producing really high-quality content, think slick ad campaigns, professional illustrations, original music needed serious resources. Teams of specialists, expensive gear, lots of training.
Sure. Big budgets.
Exactly. Now, potentially, one person with access to these tools can achieve results that used to require a whole studio or agency. Think about it. A tiny marketing team, maybe just one person, using Midjourney for all their ad visuals. No need for a separate design department, maybe?
Okay.
Or a blogger using ChatGPT to draft articles much faster. Or someone making YouTube videos using Suno for custom background music without knowing a thing about composing. It's not just lowering the entry barrier, it feels like it's amplifying individual creative output.
So the focus shifts. Maybe less on the pure doing and more on the idea, the direction, the editing.
Precisely. The premium shifts towards the vision, the prompting, the critical evaluation of what the AI produces. And for businesses more broadly, it's driving this huge productivity push. You see it in customer service with smarter chatbots handling tricky questions. You see it in automated report generation, feeding in data, getting back a summary. Tools creating product descriptions automatically. The whole content pipeline, text, images, audio, video, it's all being reshaped. Faster, often cheaper. It's pushing efficiency and hopefully innovation, too.
That sounds incredibly powerful and maybe a bit scary, too, for some people. When something changes things that much, there's usually a catch, right? A downside. This amazing power must come with some, limitations or risks we need to be aware of.
Absolutely. And it's crucial we talk about those. Being aware is key to using this tech responsibly. Probably the biggest limitation, the one everyone using these tools needs to know, is accuracy. Generative AI isn't always right.
Right, the hallucination thing I've heard about.
Exactly. It can generate information that sounds totally plausible, totally confident, but it's just wrong. It can make up facts, cite sources that don't exist, invent data, and it delivers these fabrications with the same confident tone as it delivers correct information. So if you're not careful, it's easy to be misled.
Okay, so that's a big one.
Yeah. The absolute key takeaway here for you, for anyone using it, is you have to verify the output independently, especially if it's for anything important. Never just trust it blindly. Cross-reference, check the facts.
Crucial advice. Okay, what else? I know there's been a lot of talk about copyright, how these things are trained.
Yes, that's another major and honestly quite thorny issue. It's a legal gray area right now. These models are trained on truly enormous data sets, images, text, music scraped from the internet, often. Was all of that data legally sourced? Did the creators give permission for it to be used in AI training? Often the answer is unclear or maybe no.
So the AI might generate something that looks or sounds suspiciously like someone else's work.
It can happen. The AI might learn a specific artist's style so well that its output feels like a copy, even if it's technically new. This could lead to copyright infringement claims. There are already lawsuits happening around this questioning if training on copyrighted material without permission is fair use.
So if you use AI-generated content, say, commercially,
You need to be careful. You need to understand the terms of service of the tool you're using and be aware of the potential risks. If the output is very close to existing work or if the training data itself is questionable, there could be legal headaches down the line. Pay attention to the licensing.
okay, accuracy, copyright. What about just relying on it too much?
Yeah.
If we let AI do all the initial brainstorming, does our own creativity suffer?
That's a really valid concern, I think. There's a definite risk there. If every time you need an idea or need to write something or design something, your first step is always ask the AI, you might find your own creative muscles getting a bit weaker. Your ability to observe closely, to make unexpected connections, to generate truly original starting points, those things may atrophy if you don't exercise them.
And maybe problem-solving skills, too, if you always outsource the first draft of thinking.
Possibly, yeah. You might lose some of that ability for really divergent, out-of-the-box thinking that AI, by its nature of working from patterns, might struggle with. So the ideal, I think, is to see AI as an assistant, a powerful auxiliary tool, something to augment your abilities, not replace your core creativity or critical thinking, your unique viewpoint, your judgment. Those are still essential.
That makes a lot of sense. So for listeners who are thinking, okay, I want to try this, or maybe they feel a bit overwhelmed by it all, what's your advice? How should people get started without falling into those traps?
Good question. Based on what we've discussed, I'd offer 3 main tips. First, start simple. Don't try to master everything at once. Pick one accessible tool, like ChatGPT for text, or maybe Midjourney for images. Just play with it. Get a feel for how prompts work, what kind of results you get. Try asking ChatGPT silly questions, or use Midjourney to visualize something fun. Low stakes. Just get comfortable with the generation part.
Okay, dip your toes in.
Exactly. Second piece of advice, use it as an aid, not a crutch. Try to have your own initial idea first. Do your own brainstorming, even if it's rough. Then bring in the AI to help you refine it, explore different angles, or overcome a specific block. Don't let the AI be page 1 every single time. Maybe draft your email, then ask ChatGPT to improve the tone.
So you're still driving.
Right. You're the director. And that leads to the third point. Cultivate critical thinking. Always. Treat everything the AI gives you as a first draft, not a final product. Get in the habit of verifying its facts, like we said, but also rewriting sentences, adjusting the style, tweaking the image, make it yours. That way, you get the benefits, the speed, the inspiration, but you maintain your own standards, your own voice, and you ensure accuracy. Be the editor, the critical eye.
Start simple, use it as an aid, and always think critically. That seems like really solid advice. Well, this has been fascinating. We've seen the incredible potential of generative AI, but also the very real need for caution and critical engagement. It's definitely not going away, is it?
No, it seems like it's only accelerating. We're just scratching the surface, really.
So maybe a final thought for everyone listening. As this tech evolves, how will you weave it into your work or your learning? How will you use its power while keeping your own unique creativity and critical judgment sharp? Something to ponder.
And speaking of learning and challenges, on our next deep dive, we're going to tackle something I know a lot of people struggle with. Learning AI through self-study feels impossible sometimes. I leaned on these 3 core beliefs to push through the tough spots.
Ooh, that sounds really useful. Looking forward to that. And we'd love to hear from you too. After listening today, is there a generative tool you're now curious to try? Or maybe you already have a way you're planning to use it. Let us know. Thanks so much for joining us on the Deep Dive. If you found this helpful, please subscribe wherever you get your podcasts so you don't miss our future explorations. We'll talk to you next time.